In this video, we will explore Mexico, one of the top 15 global economies, delving into the everyday life of its diverse regions. We will start in the vibrant Mexico City, the capital, and then venture out to discover Mexico's famous tourist attractions. Mexico, a giant of North America, shares its borders to the north with the United States and to the south with Guatemala and Belize. The Pacific Ocean bathes its western coast, while the Gulf of Mexico lines the east. Quality of life varies considerably among the regions. It's higher in the south, while in the north, near the U.S. border, conditions are more arid and challenging. Spanning approximately 1,973,000 square kilometers, Mexico has a population of approximately 127 million. Although entry into the country requires visas for most international visitors, the application process is generally simple and straightforward. For example, if you are planning a short business trip or tourism, entry is generally allowed for citizens from all countries for up to 30 days. They operate a visa system. With an electronic visa, your entry into the country is facilitated. The first featured location in this video is the capital, Mexico City, located in the center of the country. Mexico City is considered the economic hub of Mexico, offering most of the job opportunities in its vast metropolis. Furthermore, the city stands out for its impressive architecture, advanced infrastructure, and welcoming population. Approximately 20 million people reside here. There is much to discuss about such a populous city, especially considering that wages are not exceptionally high. Mexicans are known for their friendliness and optimism despite facing various challenges and social issues. This country presents a series of contradictions. Various contrasting situations are observable throughout the territory, including in the capital, Mexico City. For example, the locals are extremely friendly, but if you visit Mexico City and have an appearance that resembles Europeans or Americans, you may be called gringo. Gringo is a term often used by Mexicans, often in a playful manner or to make jokes about foreigners arriving in the country. When interacting with foreigners, some people in Mexico may initially assume that they are Americans, which can lead to prejudices based on stereotypes. However, the perception changes positively when they learn more about the foreigner's home country, becoming more receptive and welcoming. Additionally, Mexican nationalists may express negative opinions about the United States, viewing them as aggressive or invasive. When it comes to immigration to the United States, Mexican residents often describe those who attempt to cross the border as exhausted and desperate individuals struggling to find basic means of subsistence. They are often individuals from rural areas where agriculture has become unviable. These communities face extreme poverty, and the lack of local opportunities drives many to seek a better life beyond the border. This situation is exacerbated by challenging climatic conditions in Mexico, such as periods of severe drought that compromise crops, worsening poverty in rural areas. Many people in Mexico, facing difficult conditions, view emigration to the United States as an escape route in times of desperation. Concurrently, the culinary culture in Mexico is notable for its significant consumption of Coca-Cola and a great appreciation for tacos. There is a tendency in Mexican cuisine to include spicy, oily, and acidic ingredients, which are highly favored by the population. Food in Mexico is often served in generous portions, often sufficient for 2 people. This reflects the enthusiasm and pleasure Mexicans find in eating, as it is an important part of their culture and daily life. Missing a meal can significantly affect people's mood and productivity. However, contrary to what some may think, alcohol consumption is not a predominant practice throughout Mexico. While in tourist areas, there may be higher consumption. In the more inland regions of the country, families tend to consume alcohol moderately, often limiting themselves to an occasional beer. This more reserved approach to alcohol consumption reflects a distinctive cultural characteristic of the country. Television is a popular form of entertainment in Mexico, where many turn to TV programs as a means of escapism. Series that portray luxurious lives and attractive characters are particularly appreciated, providing a contrast to daily realities. In Mexico City, heavy traffic is a common feature, with many people spending considerable hours stuck in traffic jams. The city's roads are also known for the significant presence of motorcyclists, which sometimes leads to tensions between car drivers and motorcyclists. This bustling environment can result in impatient and irritable behavior among drivers. Traffic rules in the capital are often disregarded, and obtaining a driver's license in Mexico is perceived as easier compared to many developed countries. In contrast to the strict requirements elsewhere, such as being 18 years old and passing rigorous exams, Mexico has a more relaxed process for obtaining a driver's license. This ease in the licensing process is noteworthy, especially considering the high rates of traffic-related fatalities in the country. In Mexico, obtaining a driver's license is accessible to foreigners with temporary residency visas. After paying a fee of approximately $45 at a government institution, it is possible to obtain an official driver's license in about 20 minutes. This license allows for domestic air travel and can be used as a substitute for a passport in certain circumstances. However, the socioeconomic situation in Mexico influences practices like bribery. Due to low salaries, especially among police officers and public servants, who often earn around $400 per month, there is a tendency to accept bribes. For example, traffic fines can be negotiated for amounts lower than the officially stipulated ones. Additionally, for those looking to do business in Mexico, it is important to consider the tax system. The income tax rate can reach up to 35% of net income, and the value-added tax, IVA, is approximately 16%. This can result in nearly half of the net profits going towards tax payments. Mexico City offers a wide range of housing and business options. Here it's possible to start a business without the need for a physical office, thanks to the popularity of virtual offices. The city's architecture is marked by pronounced contrasts. On one hand, there are impressive skyscrapers with luxury apartments on each floor, built with high-quality materials and offering excellent sound insulation. On the other hand, in some areas, older and poorly maintained buildings face structural risks, with deteriorated facades and vulnerability to natural disasters like earthquakes. As for local culture, when visiting a Mexican home, it's usually not necessary to remove your shoes, a culturally different practice from some other countries. This is reflected in the home decor, where carpets are less common. For those looking to rent a new and well-constructed apartment in a residential area, the cost can be significant. A good apartment can cost around 25,000 Mexican pesos per month, which is approximately $1,400. For a family of 4, monthly food expenses can range between $700 and $1,000. This cost of living should be considered by those planning to live or do business in the city. When visiting Mexico as a foreigner, it is advisable to take security and cautionary measures. Avoiding unfamiliar areas, especially those known to be problematic, is a sensible practice. In these regions, there may be a disregard for laws or social norms. Furthermore, it is wise not to display valuable items or carry large sums of money to avoid unwanted attention. Maintaining a low profile and avoiding ostentation can significantly reduce the risk of unpleasant situations. While exploring Mexico City, one notable aspect of society is the presence of large families, often seen in the streets. Mexican culture places a strong emphasis on family, and it is common for women to have multiple children. It is observed that many families begin forming and growing early in life, reflecting practices and choices related to parenthood. This cultural aspect can be observed in the social dynamics and composition of families in both urban and rural areas of the country. In Mexican society, family and educational matters have their own peculiarities. During a divorce, it's common for men to fiercely fight for child custody, which can be a significant challenge for women seeking separation. On the domestic front, even modest income families tend to hire household employees, such as maids, to bolster their social status. Regarding education, public schools in Mexico, especially for elementary and secondary students, generally offer a basic level of education that is lower than what is found in the United States or Europe. On the other hand, private schools provide high-quality education, but come with high tuition fees, ranging from $300 to $400 for elementary education. Additionally, it's common for parents to take their children to school, with children rarely traveling alone. Finally, Cancun stands out as a lush coastal city, popular among affluent tourists and considered one of the most expensive destinations in Mexico. In this cosmopolitan and welcoming city, Locals are known for their open-mindedness and readiness to socialize with visitors from various backgrounds. Safety here is notably better than in other parts of the country. While the city may not be marked by imposing skyscrapers, it stands out for its relaxed atmosphere and predominant shades of green and blue. At night, the city transforms, pulsating with life. Nightclubs, each with its own theme and concept, line up, many of them featuring performing dancers at the entrance to attract and entertain customers. The nightlife is lively, filled with elegant and charming people. During the day, the city offers a wide selection of restaurants and cafes, most frequented by international tourists, reflecting the city's popularity among affluent visitors. In addition to these establishments, street vendors add color and variety to the urban scene, often reflecting the authenticity of local Mexican culture. Mexicans themselves primarily visit the city to enjoy its stunning beaches, often on day trips with their families. The beaches are as enchanting as they are said to be, and occasionally, one can spot wildlife roaming the city's parks. For those exploring Latin America for the first time, it's important to be aware of the common presence of reptiles in green areas. If you prefer to avoid these animals, it may be best to steer clear of forested parks in countries like Mexico, Ecuador, and Colombia. For a brief stay in Mexico, Cancun is often the ideal choice for many visitors. The Mexican experience varies widely depending on your personal preferences. If your goal is to establish a business and settle permanently, it will be crucial to integrate into the local community and build relationships. This process may present challenges and uncomfortable situations. On the other hand, if you're seeking a brief and paradise-like experience, destinations like Cancun and Playa del Carmen are ideal. While they may not have the same energy as cities in Colombia or Argentina, these Mexican locations offer plenty of delights. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel before you go. Goodbye for now.